Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We're discussing these issues, which are realities that are confronting us, and it requires change and it requires action. It requires an implementation of ideas that are not necessarily just innovative any longer, but are facing us to be the real solutions to a series of problems we have. Kuryente. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us, we have Dave Towley, the mechanical engineer, the man behind the concept and the technology, and we also have Rafael Buds Fernando, who's pushing the advocacy to make things a reality. You were saying in the break, Dave, ginawa mo na.
Yes.
Nangyari na. So, hindi yung negativity ko na sinasabi ko, hindi pwede Pilipino, hindi gagawin niya. Nangyari na.
Nangyari na in the sense that they have already come to the financial agreement, they already got bank loans and everything to be able to start the construction this April, next
How
month.
did you do it? Sino na una? Gobyerno muna? Local government muna? Or council?
Local leadership, actually. Local government leadership. Because in the power sector...
Not government. Local community leadership
Local
first.
community leaders. Yes, local community
So parang
leaders.
barangay, parang ganon.
In effect, barangay,
Okay.
yes. Because the idea again is aggregating. So we gave them the idea of instead of waiting for capitalists to come in and build power plants, why don't you aggregate your requirements together and urge your government to put up the power plant? So doon. So it went that way from the grassroots. It went to their political leaders. From the political leader, the local executive, mayor, and
Nagpasok ng pera.
right. What we do naman so far, the money is concerned, maraming pera ang bangko eh.
Tama. Kasi the bank will own the project per se.
Yes.
Sila mag-a-advance na. Tsaka mga bangko ngayon,
Yep.
uhaw na uhaw sa credit, magbigay ng credit, di ba, for a formidable project.
DBP has a window actually for
May green
renewable
funds
energy.
talaga.
Kaya talagang lahat ng bangko ngayon because,
Right.
well, sa bagay, the banks give you nothing for your peso. What, 0.37% interest on your savings na, di ba?
Yes,
Hindi 1%, one-third of 1%. Kung hawakan mo yung piso ngayon, in 1 year, magkano na lang yun based on the inflation rate of 8.9. Talo na, di ba? So ito, ginamit mo first the local leaders. So
Local leaders.
we need concerned citizens who group people together.
That's where you start from.
So community responsibility.
Yes, that's where
And
you
then
start
local
from.
government to step up.
And then local government to
Buti
step up.
in your experience, hindi kayo kinain ng local government. Kasi yun ang nababasa natin ngayon parati sa dyaryo, di ba?
Yeah.
Yung korupsyon, grabe.
Right, right. That's why you have to start where you know that the local government is not corruptible. You know, it has established track record of
Meron
putting
pa bang areang ganyan? Meron pa ba, Dave?
I tell you, and you can go and see it, Marawi City is one such area. Proven kasi nila through over several years. Yun ang tinignan namin muna eh.
But Marawi is you had a problem with energy.
Yeah.
You really had a problem with energy. So,
We had a problem with
reality talaga yung, hey, ayusin natin yung... yung
Yes.
areas like Metro Manila.
Yes.
I mean, before mawalan ng Metro Manila, lahat blackout na eh. Di ba? Parang ganun eh.
right,
So,
right.
how do you... Ikaw, that's your problem. How do you attack that problem?
Well, unang-una, Harry, nasa batas eh. There is the law.
Sa batas naman.
Pero,
Miski presidente, sinisiraan ng batas. Miski Supreme Court, go against the laws. Di ba?
My point is-
wala nang rule of law.
hindi basta malaman nila na pwede silang mag-aggregate. Hindi pwedeng humindi yung ano eh. Yung let's say, distributor. Yung DU.
Because the law allows them nowadays.
Yes, it allows
The law allows you not to be dependent on your distributor or an external generator, but it allows you to put up your own community-based generating plant.
So,
yun ang-
once you get the people in the community will identify, pwede mo lagay dito yung property, for example. So, malaking headache na yan out of the way.
Right.
Now, you don't have to buy it, you can rent it.
Yep.
Yes, you could rent
At,
it. Use it.
but at good prices naman, hindi ridiculous.
Yes.
Diba? Does it have to be near the consumer's base that will use it? Can't it be in Malayileo? For example, okay, Forbes Park, community ng Forbes Park. May kaya yan, di ba? Tatayo sila. Pero wala na naman lugar sa tabi ng Sa Global City, di ang mahal din. Pwede ba ilagay yan sa may, for example, Malayileo, lagay natin sa Taytay, sa Montalban, malayo. Pero ang gagamit niyan, Forbes Park. Pwede ba yung ganon?
If you are in areas like Ford Park, instead of looking for areas, you go to the roofs. Okay? You go to the
So the roofs of the house.
Right,
bubong.
right. That's free real estate.
But, so anong nangyayari natin sa mga bubong ng mga bahay, lalagay na lang natin, ididikit-dikit mo yung mga bahay, kaya sa kanya-kanya inverter.
You don't have to separate kung ano yan. Yung inverter niya could be at a common point. Ikabit mo lang because these are all electricity.
So for example, one house need not one inverter.
No need.
So the concept is like 10, 20, 30 houses, one inverter.
Right.
So bibili mo na lang yung solar panel mo.
Yes.
Ay, oo nga, ano.
Oh.
But you have to work out the system. Okay, let's suppose 20 houses.
Right.
Lahat may solar panel, 5, 6, 10 in one roof. Depende how big the houses are. Mag-interconnect.
Yes.
Maglalagay ka ngayon isang inverter lang. Kasi
Yes.
mahal din yung inverter. From that inverter, pasok na sa grid.
Yes.
Paano ngayon yung then all the 20 houses that are involved will have their electric meters also aggregate in a common area
Yes.
also.
Yes.
So pwede.
Okay, pwede.
Do you do this
Very
service?
possible.
We
There are no
can.
technical
You can do
problems.
this service?
We can, yeah.
Kasi,
Actually, meron kaming I just received a call from one vice mayor in Misamis Oriental. Call sila sa template ni Dave. I presented them all the data. Sabi ko, eto, ganito, nangyayari na to sa Marawi. All we have to do is really follow it. You know? And then, binasa nila. O sige, bigyan mo kami chance, mag-present doon sa template. So, he called me up. Oh, Buds, okay na yung resolution. You can present your business plan here.
no kidding.
Yeah. So, that's the first step. I mean,
So, a template need not be exactly the same. It can change depending on the requirement of the community.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for areas that are not very expensive naman in real estate, you can aggregate
around.
beside them. Ito, gamitin mo itong area nito, hindi ginagamit ngayon yan. Di ba mas effective kaya? So, so long as the community is wanting to work together, you have solutions.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That's why it's called integrated.
Integral.
Integral transformation. That's basically the concept
Yeah.
then. So the ability to form communities to work together towards their solar requirements.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. How about the manufacture of the solar panels? Hindi kaya natin pwede pasukan yan dito? I'm sure Filipino ingenuity, kaya natin yan.
Kaya yan. Kaya naman.
So all we need is somebody industrialist, because the technology we can get. Can we produce the solar panels here, or do we need to import that film?
Yeah, that's where the high tech comes in. It's in the manufacture actually of the solar panels themselves. But what the Filipinos
Di ba
can do?
film lang yan?
Yes, it's a silicone film. Yeah,
So it's
in
a
effect,
plastic
film.
sheet
Yeah,
that has,
virtually.
it's plastic, di ba? Parang ganun eh.
These are actually
Photovoltaic
chips.
May chips
Parang
yan.
yung computer chips.
sa loob ng...
Right. Within that, there's a silicone element in it which essentially converts sunlight to electricity. So yun ang...
But surely this technology we can import pag
yes,
kailangan
definitely.
natin.
Yeah.
Nabibili yung technology niya.
Ah, nabibili.
Definitely.
So while we're doing this, it's also good sana if a local manufacturer went into it and sold it locally.
Yes.
That can.
To our, di ba, ideal.
Yes.
So the importation can be reduced.
Yes.
If we create the demand, then it's better we build it eventually.
Eventually, yes.
But then again, that's asking too much of leadership in government. We're too busy with Napolis eh. We're too busy with PIDA. We're too busy with, ewan ko, government natin. Ano. But then again, let's go to the future and let's go for innovation. This is the only solution. Wala namang iba, no?
Wala nang ibang pupuntahan, Hari.
Ganun din bagsak.
Which is why I'm saying that we should go to the local people and use the local government officials. Do not talk to Pinoy or do not talk to the senators or do not talk to the congressman even. Talk to the mayors and work with them. Pwede naman yun.
Kasi local
Provided, as you pointed out, this is proven to be non-corrupt kasi maybe 90% of our people down there are there's something wrong. Yung kuanan. So you have to be very selective on this. Eh, itong napili naman ni Buddy na community, parang maganda ito eh.
Yeah.
The one in Salay. Which
You have
is
another project.
Yeah, that's what ayun sinasabi ko sa kanina.
Explain to us.
Yeah, it's in Misamis Oriental, Salay, Misamis
Oriental,
Oriental. Northern Mindanao yan.
How long has this been going on until implementation?
Well,
How long did it take you?
nag-umpisa ako dyan, pro bono yun. Hari, nagbigay ako ng management services. I was really eyeing them to create an integrated development plan. Nandiyon na lahat, no? Like HR, pati social, water, and everything.
Water rights,
Ang kulang ko na lang talaga, ito eh.
power.
Yung RE eh. So, ito si Dave, angel ko. So, binigay sa akin dyan. Oh, okay, uunahin ko muna ito dahil madaling gawin, dahil nagawa na eh.
Nagawa na, may template ka na.
So, it's,
I provide the technology. He provides the institutional,
institutional
foundation,
development.
to allow the technology to be used there. Sa akin naman, I've proven the technology. Maghanap ka lang ng
Pero
community.
hindi kayo pwede makorap naman ng community pag nangyari, pagdating sa distribution. Hindi rin, no? Kasi pag nakaset up na, even Stevens na yan, ano?
And that's the point. From the start, you have to ensure that the community really participates in the whole thing. Para pagka natapos na yan, pinabantayan pa rin nila. They have a stake in the whole thing. So they will be the ones responsible for ensuring na walang
And the role of
corruption.
the mayor, for example, local government, gumaganda ang papel niya.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Kasi
Definitely.
may deliverables siya na maliwanag.
it's a feather in his cap, actually.
It's a feather on his cap.
Like the mayor of Marawi was telling me, I did not anticipate it, but he told me that, Dave, this is a very good community project, okay? So since it is a good community project, I tell you, I can easily win the next election.
Because, mukhang ganun na. How small can it be? And how big can you handle?
Small, isang komunidad lang, isang sitio, pwede. Actually, yung nga naging problema doon sa Salay, sabi sa akin ng Vice Mayor, Bats, paano ito? Meron kami sitio dito na talagang walang electrical lines. Hindi problema yan. I-aggregate natin. Kaya lang,
Wala kang transmission. Yung sinasabi niya, walang transmission. Anong ginawa mo?
ayun nga, yung proposal would be, sabi ko, nakuha yung concept ni Dave. Sige, aggregate ka, lagyan natin ng panels.
Tabi-tabi.
Tabi-tabi. Dikit-dikit sila doon.
And then from there, you suck the power out.
Yep. In effect,
Mag-aalambre ka na lang sa bahay nila.
in effect, yes.
In effect, yes.
If they do not have it, but most houses, meron na yan.
Meron na sa ano eh.
Source of power na lang ang kulang nila.
Ba't hindi ginawa yan dun sa Yolanda? Di ba, yan ang naging problema natin. We all rush to reconnect them into the grid, which is now the power is there's no energy. Nakakabit ka, brown out naman. Hindi, wala din.
Totoo.
Hindi, di ba dapat yung sana, that could have been.
Because grid connected lahat yun eh.
Grid
Gagaling
connected.
sa grid sila eh. Pagka down ng grid, wala.
Wala rin,
In this
useless.
case, what we are doing is that parang what we call
Independent.
distributed generation right, independent.
Independent
Meaning that magkasiraan man sa labas, kayo, because your source is local, meron pa rin kayong
Pero paano sa gabi, pag gano'n, pag integrated, hindi ka nakakabit sa grid?
No,
Pwede
nakakabit ka sa grid.
Kailangan nakakabit ka pa
nakakabit
rin.
sa grid. Oo.
So yung base load sa gabi, sa grid
Yes,
ka kukuha.
galing
Pag
sa grid.
daytime, nire-reduce.
Yes.
Gumabalik yung metro, kumbaga.
In effect, yes.
In effect,
Oo,
to reduce the power cost.
Oo.
So you have to work also with the power distributor.
Distributor. Yes.
Kailangan maayos din. Sila naman no choice, they have to, right? Kasi
That's where he is saying that the law is there. The law is there which requires them to work with independent sources.
they have no choice.
They have no
Yeah.
choice. Kung pwede pa nga, Hari, sumama na lang kayo sa amin. Para walang, sama-sama tayo dito. So it's between LGU, the DU, and then the community.
Oo, sama-sama lahat. So you actually, reinforce the politics of living together.
Yep, that's right.
Ganun ang nangyayari
Oo,
niyan.
oo.
Hindi mag-aaway kasi lahat masaya. Kesa wala.
It's a requirement really. You have to get them to work together. If they do not, wala. Nothing's
You
going to
know,
happen.
Bads, if you succeed, and Dave, if you two succeed, the next step really is the manufacture of the solar panels.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not. It shouldn't be that difficult. Tsaka hindi high technology naman yan eh.
And you can start this in phases naman eh. At this start, huwag ka muna manufacture dahil wala ka namang kwan eh. But what you do is import the elements and then put them
Assemble.
together.
Correct.
Parang car assembly. Nag-assembly ka muna.
Assembly.
But eventually, you will be stepping also towards manufacturing na yung parts ng mga car.
Oo, correct.
But you are starting immediately. Yung assembly lang, malaking baba na ng cost nun eh.
Correct.
When you assemble the things together.
Assemble. You just bring in the film.
Yes.
And then eventually
Yes.
find out how they make the film.
Right.
At we just buy the same machine, gawin na lang dito para
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Kasi hindi na, Nabibili yung teknolohiya na yan.
Yeah, it's available. It's available.
It's available.
You can put it up. So ganun, gradually,
If you were in Japan, how would you solve the problem with Japan? Alam mo, ngayon, nagiging problema sila niyan. No to nuclear. Hindi naman pwedeng coal. Fuel is too expensive. How would you go about it? Kaya ang problema kasi ng Japan is, although it's called the rising sun, di ba? Kaya nga
Rising
yung
sun,
flag nila eh. Pero problema, may winter sila eh, no? Walang araw, ano? How would you resolve that? Should they gone to solar? Pwede rin sila kaya?
Pwede rin. Actually, ang Japan, ano rin sila, it's a mixture of several sources of energy.
Pero ang baba ng solar nila is 2%, 1%.
yes.
Ang baba masyado.
Pero strange because yung first na solar na ginawa namin, we imported that from Japan.
Sa
eh.
Japan yan. Oh.
Japan pa.
Japan ang manufacturer.
Sa
ng,
manufacture.
yeah,
Pero sa utility,
utilization,
hindi
they're
sila
very weak.
yeah, they're very weak. They don't use it. They're stronger in wind, if I'm not mistaken. Parehong percentage ng wind versus solar in Japan.
Pati rin nuclear.
But
medyo-
now that
Nuclear,
they have sworn of nuclear, they have no choice. They have to go to wind and solar. Kasi
Do you agree nuclear is not good? Dapat wag natin.
No,
Ikaw,
what they are saying, regardless of whether it is good or not, Japan already made the decision that
that's
we will not go into it
Well,
because
lately-
it's hazardous.
but lately the Abenomics is going to go back into it and it's
Again.
about to happen again. Kasi tumaas masyado
Tumaas,
cost of energy.
Oh.
The state is suffering, so nagiging problema. So interestingly enough, it can be done. Would you, for example, tayo sa Pilipinas, would you agree or disagree that pasukan natin ng nuclear? Hindi na.
Wag na. Wag na.
Wag na.
Oo. I mean, it's like, there's an apple, there's a mango, dito na lang ako sa mangga. Ito, talagang, you know,
So develop na lang natin solar.
solar na lang. Dahil,
Pero
wala-
kaya
wala-
ba? I mean,
Pwede, Harry, I'm telling you.
yung porsyento ng requirement natin, kaya na solar?
The RE can supply more than 50% of our energy requirements.
Ang taas niya na.
Oo,
Bahas, 50%.
kaya natin yan.
Engineer,
It can.
papayag ka?
Sure.
50%?
More than
Ang
50%.
problema lang with solar ngayon is that it's more expensive than the other renewable sources. Yun lang. But once the price is going down.
Going down.
The price is going down.
It's continuously going down.
Right.
But remember, Obama, in his first term, spent billions of dollars, di ba, in that solar company in America. Sumara.
Sarap.
yeah.
Ano kaya nangyari doon, ano? Or politics yun, or in the wrong
No, not
direction,
really.
wrong management.
They found out that they cannot compete in the international market.
That's the reason.
Oo.
Kung ganon, mali yung objective.
Well,
Incorrect. Dapat the objective is to promote energy, RE, like you
RE,
said, for our utilization, not for export. Pinasukan nila as negosyo. Bumaliktad. Siyempre, Amerikano, mahal naman ng Amerikano gagawa ng produkto to begin with. It's too expensive, di ba? So, tayo, we should go in this direction. Gentlemen, we've got to end the show at top of the hour. Biro mo, we're talking 45, 50 minutes. Parang kala mo, 5 minutes, ano? Sandali. Dave, ikaw na muna. Anong message mo sa mga viewers natin? A message to our viewers.
the message is essentially we should stop looking to the capitalists for our generation of power. We should aggregate instead. We should bring together communities, let them work through their local government for the community to own the power plants that we are going to build. And it has to be renewable, solar at saka hydro. So that would be
Combination.
what I'm saying. Quit looking at the capitalists. Get together and work to have your own source of power.
Thank you very much. Buds, what's your message?
Quite similar, but the problem is really, I mean, the solution to the problem is inside the problem, kung tutuusin mo. Kailangan maintindihan ng tao na yung solusyon, nasa kanila rin eh. If they have this, what do you call it, yung talagang collective consciousness, sige, magsama-sama tayo, mas lalakas. Pero kung ikaw lang mag-isa, hindi mo may isip eh. Well, I'm not saying kami yung angel, no? Ang amin lang is, okay, here it is, proven na, ito nangyayari na yan, kung susundin ninyo to, kaya natin itong gawin. It's as simple as that, Harry. Ayun yung mensahe namin.
Ako message ko dyan, ladies and gentlemen, we have two angels hovering in this room, and they seem to have the solutions if only you're willing and able to listen. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to end the show, and not for anything else, but if you think about it, if solutions are made available, and it's towards your interest, in most cases you would jump into it without thinking. And yet many of us become hesitant when the problems become aggravated. Bakit kaya? Is that human nature or is it called stupidity? Now, until your electricity and your light goes out, and until you require the help of your neighbors, you will always lock your house and say, I don't want to see the next guy, I want to lock it in. But when in reality, the best thing about living in communities is to walk outside your door, see nature, and get to talk to your neighbors, and sometimes even ask if they have an extra cup of salt, should you require it for your adobo. But then again, in the richer communities, iba. Pasiklaban niya ng Hermes bag. Pasiklaban niya ng mga sapatos na ang babaho pa rin naman, maski pa paano, nasusuot ng paa. Pero pinagyayabang nila. Alam mo, ang problema po natin, maybe it's not even a problem. It's really called our history, our culture, the way we are. Is it called human beings? Gee, we really give human being a bad name, don't we? But then again, gee, it's happening all over the world, di ba? You've got the Crimea issue where the Russians versus the Russians. I didn't even realize Ukraine was already an independent state. And the fact that Russia can now claim Crimea and say, oh, wag na kayo boboto, kami lang boboto. Imagine if Mindanao decided to have their own referendum and say, the Republic of Mindanao, wala na kayo, papahid kaya tayo. Ano kaya gawin nila sa Texas, sa Amerika yun? O sa Illinois? Sila lang, all the citizens of Illinois, tayo gagawa tayong referendum. And then, pag sinabi naman, this is the Republic of Illinois, or the Republic of Texas, Republic of Ohio, papayag kaya yung 50 states called the United States of America? Or sino? Gigarahin ng Amerikano na naman? It's like our problems with China. Because we can't seem to get along, because they're bullying us, let's get the Americans, awayin sila. Pero saan magiging gera? Dito, di tayo rin collateral damage. The inability of human beings to live within a community, to work together towards a common objective, seems to be the farthest of everybody's mind. You know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to say hello and to learn that the guy beside you, your neighbor beside you, has the ideas to make life easier for you, of which you will receive the benefit. But then again, alam mo, Pilipino tayo, mayabang tayo eh. But maybe it's time to stop. Maybe it's time to look forward and see other human beings as a plus, not as a negative. Ladies and gentlemen, enough of my telling you down. Alam mo, para akong professor eh. I'm not. I don't know it all. What I do know is how to generate critical thought. And I hope I've helped you in doing that tonight. Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much,
Thank
Bats.
you, sir.
You are what you watch.